As the clock turned past midnight to herald the start of a landmark day in the history of Middlesbrough Football Club, there was still much work to be done.
Look, it's got to get finished, hasn't it?
For 6 weeks, it had been round-the-clock shifts for the workforce. One more didn't matter.
We've been here 48 hours non-stop, and I've had like 3 hours sleep.
3 hours sleep.
It takes your breath away, really. I think the stadium itself is fantastic, and I can't wait to let the fans in tomorrow so that they can actually share what we've achieved with us.
At 6 this morning, the sun briefly shone its face on what 10 months ago was derelict dockland. The Cellnet Riverside Stadium now stands on the banks of the Tees. 30,000 capacity, it cost 16 million, a mile from the city centre. And one of the architects of the Middlesbrough revival is aware of its significance.
If you're going to have a big setup and you're going to try and compete with the top clubs, then you need setups like this. You know, so it was a big factor when I made the decision to come to Middlesbrough.
And you plan to be mixing it with those big clubs, don't you?
Well, we're hoping so.
Stadium control to all turnstile operators. All turnstiles should now open in the Riverside Stadium.
Up the borough.
Yeah. At 1 o'clock, the Middlesbrough faithful started to mass. A few miles away, Earson Park stood silent. A great football ground in its day, but unable to house Middlesbrough's ambitions.
Earson Park produced a lot of great players without producing any great teams. And we think that this is a foundation to build a great football club.
No more mediocrity was the chairman's message in the club programme. Middlesbrough are determined to be upwardly mobile. They pushed the boat and the helicopter out with the world's biggest football shirt. Of course there were teething problems as the stadium prepared itself. The executive box kitchens blew a gasket. That didn't worry the borough rank and file too much. More important, from the moment the turnstiles opened, the Middlesbrough fans couldn't wait for the kick-off to arrive. Stadiums don't win football matches, football teams do. Obviously lifted by the huge crowd, Middlesbrough threw themselves forward at Chelsea, and they prized their defence open as half-time approached. Barmby squared the ball to Craig Hignett, and the player who'd agreed to take a pay cut to stay at Middlesbrough goes in the record books for scoring the first goal at the Riverside Stadium. And Barmby, the £5 million signing, has been an instant hit with the borough fans. A frustrating afternoon for Chelsea's two big signings. In his sweeper role, Ruud Gullit swept forward and hit a shot that caused borough keeper Alan Miller's heart to flutter. Chelsea's other big summer arrival, Mark Hughes, had a quiet afternoon, hitting a typical volley over the bar. But it was Middlesbrough who always looked the stronger, and they swept out of defence to score a second goal. Hignett running through the heart of the Chelsea defence, Barmby in support, and Jan Arge confirmed Middlesbrough's first Premiership victory. 4 points from 6 for the Premiership new boys Middlesbrough. Chelsea still waiting for their first goal. For them, 2 points from 9.
Well, it's a bit frustrating as a manager in the sense that we played some super stuff during pre-season. Certainly in the first day of the season we've played excellent stuff. The frustrating thing for me is obviously not putting the ball in the back of the net. We've only given 2 goals away in 3 games, but we've got to address that and put that right. The good thing is there is competition for places in that position at the club, so we've got to put that right. We know that as a group of players and the management. If we can start it in the back of the net, a lot of the football we've played, I'm quite pleased with.
You know, people look at Chelsea now and they'll maybe mention Gullit. I mean, to me, I thought he played well today, and he was always going to be a threat when he broke into the midfield areas against us. Well, these are great challenges for our lads. You know, they're relishing them, and it's marvellous for them to be able to play against a player of Ruud Gullit and Mark Hughes and all them, where they've watched it on telly before. So they're enjoying that, and I just hope it keeps continuing.
And you're unbeaten in your new stadium.
Yeah, I hope I'm seeing that after Christmas.
The Riverside Stadium is established on the Teesside landscape tonight.